Hey souls, ever wonder what people mean when they talk about the awakening process? Well, stick with me, Christine Dostie, and I'll walk you through the whole thing. The first stage of the awakening process comes like a whisper. Your soul is beginning to awaken. Perhaps you find that for maybe even the first time in your life, you're looking around and wondering, is this all there is? What is my purpose? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing here? You see, many of us operate from the ego, and the ego uses fear, shame, and guilt to keep you in a very limited environment because it is only focused on your survival. But we are energetic beings, and we have souls, and the soul uses courage and joy and love because it wants to experience what it's like to be in a physical reality. So when the soul awakens, you might find that you're starting to get agitated. Lights might start to bother you. Sounds might start to feel too much. Being in certain environments or certain patterns of behavior start to become very obvious to you, and it's agitating because you don't really align with it anymore. And you're asking yourself, what more is there supposed to be in my life? Some people will feel the agitation of the awakening process and just ignore it. You see, a lot of us operate from ego, and ego is a realm of competition, control, and winning. It is about survival and moving all the time, doing all the time. This is not the realm of the soul. The realm of the soul is about growth, expansion, and cooperation. It doesn't ask, what can I get from this situation? Instead, it asks, how can I show up in this situation? The realm of the soul has a frequency that is much higher than the ego. And check out my other video on frequency if you want to learn more. So that puts the two in direct opposition. The soul wants you to take a pause and consider your thought processes, your patterns of behavior, your emotions, and wants you to see your life from the bigger picture to see what more there is. The ego does not want any of this. So if the agitation is coming and you are listening to it, you might actually unconsciously create an illness, a job loss, or something dramatic enough that you are forced to give pause to your life. And hopefully you will use this time to really assess what more you want. This next phase of the awakening process is really one of the important ones because you are being asked to make a choice. Either you are committed to your soul and learning to expand and experience what that's like, perhaps taking Reiki, learning meditation, playing with crystals, other ways to allow the soul to play and learn, or you find that you're more committed to the way of the ego because fears will come up. And for some, those fears can be debilitating. And instead of dealing with them, people will decide to say, there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with the way I'm doing things. It is the whole rest of the world that needs to change. Everyone needs to back off and leave me alone. Should you decide that you're not ready to expand, then you will circle back to the beginning and you will continue to experience conflict in one way or another in your life. Patterns will repeat and you will not be moving forward and growing because you are not taking the steps necessary to move on. So again, this stage is about making a choice and what you're committed to. Issues in careers, relationships, and self-confidence are often three strong motivators that get people to say enough is enough. The last phase was about exploration, and this phase is a call to really dive in deep and do the soul work to discover who you are as a divine entity. You see, when we were born, we were all given overlays by our parents, teachers, friends, and these overlays are programming that runs constantly and develops our core beliefs. They need to be evaluated to see if they are actually in alignment with us or not. Also, if you find that you're treating yourself badly in your head, berating yourself, devaluing yourself, or even using words like should or have to, that is also the ego playing on you. Its tactics are to use stress, anxiety, and overwhelm to really keep you feeling limited and not having a lot of choice in what you need to do. This is not at all the realm of the soul. The soul offers many, many choices, and these choices have to start with evaluating what our belief systems are, what our emotions are that we're feeling, and take them out and give yourself permission to really go in and evaluate what is in alignment with you and what is not in alignment with you. And if it's not in alignment, let it go, because you are powerful and you deserve to have choice. And that is only going to happen when you actually see who you are, separate from all the overlays that have been given to you. This next phase in the process has two components. On the one hand, you might feel vulnerable. It could be very destabilizing. You are essentially spring cleaning your insides, emptying out perhaps what were foundational structures of how you built your reality. People will be asking you questions. They may not understand what's going on with you. You may not be able to answer their questions yet. It is very important here to give yourself permission to grow and evolve, because that is what you are doing. And the other side of this process is very exciting. You are finally beginning to understand how expansive you really are. You feel lighter because you are a being of light. You are learning tactics and tools and techniques to take care of yourself energetically. You are setting new boundaries. You are taking the time to build the structure of your reality according to what serves your best and highest good. Perhaps you are even discovering new purpose or passion. You are doing the work that it takes to design what it is that you want. While the last phase can be a mixture of ups and downs, this phase is when things really start to get exciting. It's almost complete in you. You have a better understanding of who you are. You start to realize that the whole universe is inside of you. You can feel that you are a being of light. You can feel that you have control and how you manifest and use your intention and create the reality around you. Relationships are shifting. Perhaps you find that things that you attracted you before, like pop or processed foods, you don't even want those things around you anymore, because your vibration has come to such a level that you're not in alignment with those bad habits, with the lower vibrations. You might notice the complaining is less. You might be paying more attention to how you feel. You might find that you can say no to people and that you are creating stronger boundaries about what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Now, in this phase, it's not happening all the time. You have your good days, you have your bad days. Sometimes you understand it more in your head than you do in your heart. Sometimes you really feel it in your heart and you feel the love that shines through, and you feel like you can be generous with other people, and you begin to ask yourself, how can I show up here? And a transition is happening where it's not, what am I going to get out of this situation? It is, what does this situation need from me? How do I need to show up? And you're starting to behave from the soul perspective, and the ego's desires and all the hold that it has on you, the have to, the should to, that hold is not as strong anymore. Now you recognize it's a choice. You can choose to fall down that hole, or you can stay on the ground that you're building right now that is becoming more and more solid every single day. And you're enjoying it, and you're having fun, and you're exploring and experimenting ways that your soul can express itself. You are probably having a lot of different ideas, new ideas, things that are just exciting you and really sparking your passion for your life. Because in every single moment, you are recognizing that you have the power to do something in that moment. You are not a victim. You are not put upon by other people. You are the one who decides, and that makes all the difference. The enlightenment and embodiment phase, the last phase of the awakening process. A lot of people talk about enlightenment as if it's something very far off, like Dalai Lama or Mother Teresa. But really, enlightenment means to be full of light, to recognize that you are a being of light. Does this mean that you don't have to pay your bills or do your laundry anymore because you're enlightened? No, because you're still having a physical experience. You still have to participate in what it means to have a physical experience. But there's an added layer here. It's about recognizing that as an energetic divine being connected to the unified field, there is choice and an abundance of choice and prosperity and attracting what it is that you desire. Attracting is not something that's far away that you're trying to bring to you. It's about recognizing that it already exists in the reality, and you just need to put your attention on it so that you can close the distance between you and what it is that you desire. The other wonderful thing about the embodiment and enlightenment phase is that you are now looking through a lens of love. You can be generous and empathetic and compassionate with other people. You are not using the ego language of what can I get out of this situation. You are looking at a situation and saying, how do I need to show up? How can I make the win-win-win happen? Because the soul is about cooperation. It's not about competition. And you realize that everything is a playground of choice and possibility. So you just enjoy and have a great time. So there you have it. That is the awakening process. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe so that you can get all the latest videos that are coming up. Also like or comment below. Thank you so much. And reach out to me if you need any assistance with any part of this process. I'm an energy healer, and I've got plenty of tools that can help you along to discover your own soul and live in alignment with yourself. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.